Star Wars 7x7, episode 2557. And another What to Watch Now episode, I'm going to talk about the Star Wars vehicle fly-throughs, which, you know, if you watch them one way, it's cool, and if you watch them another way, it's also kind of cool in a different way. And I'm also going to use this as a moment to reflect on Star Wars detours, which we've talked about here and there on the show, but there was another little news nugget about that, too, that just happened a little bit ago. Punch it. Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod, and this is Star Wars 7x7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy, and thank you so much for joining me for it. So, Star Wars Vehicle Fly-Throughs was introduced on May the 4th on Disney+, and it's out as a first season, so there's one season of it, and there's only 2 episodes in the season. There hasn't been any word on whether there's going to be more of them, but I mean, the way things are set up, it certainly seems like that's the case, but I think you kind of have to pick and choose what vehicles you're going to do, because vehicle fly-throughs only really work on ships that you can actually walk around in, and there's not a whole lot of those in Star Wars. There's some, but certainly, you know, in a saga that focuses on, you know, X-Wings and TIE fighters a lot in ship-to-ship combat, stuff that you walk around in isn't too common. I'd say probably the Millennium Falcon is the, you know, smallest ship potentially that you could do that with. I suppose maybe the Razor Crest you could do that with. I know the Razor Crest is no more, but that wouldn't stop anyone from doing a vehicle fly-through for it, I would say. Anyway, so you know, the Millennium Falcon is one of the 2 that they do this with, and it is a New Hope original trilogy era Millennium Falcon as far as I can tell, because A, the radar dish on the top of it is a circular radar dish, and it's definitely Han Solo era interior decoration, not Lando era interior decoration. And there's one other particular element that screams original trilogy, which is the blast helmet that you see sitting on the side console in the cockpit. Why it's up in the cockpit with the blast shield down, who knows? But you know, that's neither here nor there. It's a fun atmospheric, you know, glide through the ship. Basically, if somebody had a drone and was flying it through the corridors and whatnot, there's atmospheric music around it if you just have the music on. I actually turned on the audio description version of the English language audio situation, so there's a whole tour that's basically narrated through it, and that's good fun. There are shots of, you know, the main sort of entertainment hold where the Dejarik table is, and you get close-ups on that, which, you know, also definitely looks less than shiny, and a quick shot of the navigation panel on the back of the cockpit, which is of course where L337 was installed and where now the Millennium Collective all plays around together. And you see toolboxes or like tool cases on the floor of the main hold as well, which puts you in mind of the scenes in Empire when they were trying to have to fix the Falcon on the fly in the asteroid field and whatnot. So, or just before they got into the asteroid field, I should say. So, yeah. And by comparison, the First Order Star Destroyer, it's just labeled as a Star Destroyer, but it's actually the Resurgent class Star Destroyer from the Rise of Skywalker in particular. That one, befitting its evil subject matter, has a creepier audio atmosphere, and you can tell it's from the Rise of Skywalker basically because the corridors and other locations that they show you are basically what we saw in the Rise of Skywalker. So the conference room where Kylo Ren shows up with poor Bulio's head and, you know, announces that they have a mole in the First Order, like that scene, and then corridors where Poe and Finn and Rey and Chewie are running around inside the ship, and also the escape pod bay where Hux is going to, you know, in theory, have Poe and Finn assassinated, but then turns and says, "I'm the mole!" Woo! Yeah, that one. So Another example of, a kind of ship where, like, yes, you got a lot of walking around room, so, maybe a Rebel blockade runner would be great for a future one, or, the Radis or Home 1, for example. Yeah, there are definitely options to continue this sort of thing, but, not nearly as many. You couldn't necessarily do, multiple seasons of this, I don't think. At least on a fly through. If you want to do a fly around, yeah, sure. And then kind of do a 360 in the cockpit briefly, you could do it too. And so this coming to Disney Plus kind of put me in mind of all the other things that they could or could not bring to Disney Plus, since they did finally bring droids to Disney Plus. But Star Wars Detours, which is the series that was co-created by Lucas along with the guys from Robot Chicken, that has a lot of stuff that's done and scripts that are done, but is probably not going to come to Disney Plus anytime soon, if at all. There was a recent interview with Seth Green, who is one of the co-creators and one of the Robot Chicken guys, and also did the voice of the droid in the Bad Batch episode that was Bounty Lost, right? Cad Bane's droid, Toto 5, I think. Sorry. Anyway, so Seth said that, from what he's heard, that, there's not enough interest higher up to go through what needs to be gone through to get the series to Disney Plus. There would be some retrofitting, some additional work that they would have to do to it to make it relevant now, and not make it of the time, basically. I mean, I'm paraphrasing his words basically, but yeah, there's not enough interest within Lucasfilm and Disney to make it get going. And obviously that's a bit unfortunate, but there are still things that are kicking around out there that Lucasfilm could put onto Disney Plus as well. Basically, sort of behind the scenes documentary footage, things like, commentaries and other special features that were on various versions of the home video releases of various Star Wars movies. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that has never made it onto Disney Plus that's kicking around out there. And why not? They do already have documentaries on there, like Empire of Dreams is on there, for example, that sort of thing. But yeah, there's still stuff out there that they wouldn't necessarily have to make from scratch, that they could just bring in to the platform. That would be very cool. So yeah, maybe something for next May the 4th be with you. But there you go. That is the What to Watch Now, the Vehicle Flythroughs. Check it out. Like, it's worth a look at least. And that's going to do it for this episode of the show. It just remains for me to say thank you so much for joining me for it, as always, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be.
7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2021 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.